Hello, everyone. RBJ Kim Kid here, back with some more Paranormasight The Mermaid's Curse. In the previous video, we did more stuff. We met some more characters. We got our third point of view here. I wonder, again, there could definitely be more than 3, but I remember in the trailers, I think they only have ever showed 3, but there's probably going to be at least one more. I think that's how many people there were in the first game, was like either 4 or 5. I can't quite remember, but the timeline. Ooh, the timeline. We're getting a little more about a curse that has something to do with mermaids. Not necessarily a curse by mermaids, but it's very good. I'm loving this game every time I play it, and I can't wait to keep playing more of it. Every time I stop, I'm like, oh, I want to play more, because the mystery. Oh, the mystery is what really grips me in these games. It's what gripped me in the first. Like, don't get me wrong, everything with the curse stones in the first game was great, but the overarching mystery and theme of that is what really got me. So yeah. Anyway, speaking of mysteries, we're going to continue on with that line with Yumeko Shiki. The unidentified skeletons. Oh boy, skeleton warriors. All right, recollection. Again, this is a recollection, so like these are still like stuff that I'm assuming because remember, Yuza has like, ooh, he needs to find a mermaid before like the day after tomorrow or something like that. And there's like rumblings of like a possibility of a storm that's a similar storm that happened 5 years ago that took his parents and his friend's dad and other people too. Be like, oh, what was that? And oh yeah, and that reminds me, the mermaid that he has a special ability to that he can see like the face of dead people, no matter how small of it. Now, granted, it's not 100% accurate, but he saw someone, Samkawa. Is that our mother's name? That's what I need to know, but I don't. She obviously doesn't have a thing, so I think, was this it? Yes. So 3 fishing vessels. Sole survivor was Yuza Minakuchi, who was a middle school student at the time. His parents, Tosuke Minakuchi and Mari Minakuchi. Okay. So that was not her. Because I thought, like, because I was like, that face does look familiar to the mom's face that they showed briefly in like this scene over here when we had another flashback. So my guess is like this is current, like everything up here. This is the current, like this is happening. This is the present. This is past, which actually has me very confused when it comes to this because it's recollection. But then again, maybe like more stuff. But then again, this is also like, I mean, it's memories of last summer, so I don't know. It's still confusing. Anyway, I'm sure it'll make sense. This is what I loved about the first game and what I loved about 13 Sentinels and everything about like the timelines. It'd be like, where does this fall in the timeline? Because I mean, the way, so like, well then again, yeah, so they were like, this should have happened after this. But as you see right there, it's only there right now. But that's probably just because that's where we're at in the, like, they're not going to have the full timeline stretched out and have them in the order. They're going to have the timeline like this until, like, what we saw with this at the end of the last video is like, hey, so we got another recollection, which was this one. And it's like, oh, were you also about those skeletons? So that obviously makes sense of why it's back here instead of, you know, further ahead. But I definitely see this going to be before this one because they kind of mentioned something about this. And it went, and they're like, oh, we need to go to a house. Which, by the way, Yuza is like, ooh, that's one of the places we could go to, is that house as well. So I could see Yuza and Yumeko meeting up there. So that's going to be very interesting, especially when we have our psychic detectives here. But anyway, let's go with unidentified skeletons. Here we go. Yumeko Shichi arrives in Toba City, Mie Prefecture, to investigate the discovery of skeletal remains with her assistant Soto Kiryu. Kiryu-chan. Date unknown, but it's August 1980 in the morning. Welcome, ma'am. I've been waiting for you. The site where the bones were found is a little ways offshore from this beach, Nicki Minaj, which won't be a thing until another 30 years. You went ahead and started the investigation, I see. Thanks for that. Not at all. You clearing everything with local police meant that all I had to do was arrive and inspect the remains myself. To get straight to the point, there is no doubt signs of a curse are clearly evident. The skeletal remains are tied to a supernatural incident. Seems I was right to trust my intuition on this one. Alright then, let me hear the full report. Understood. Let's think. I had already planned to come here to Toba and Mei Prefecture to gather soda on another case. But the news of skeletal remains being found in the area caught my eye, so I sent him ahead to investigate. As expected, it turned out to be a result of a curse. Likely a troublesome one at that. Motherfucker, how many fucking cases are you picking up? I think, I don't know, maybe the mermaid one, the one from the other flashback that we had with them, was that the original case? The way they made it sounds like that wasn't the original case from what I'm remembering. Granted, it's been a day since I recorded that. So I'm like, was that the original case? But there's like, oh, that's fine. This isn't the original case that we wanted to talk about. So now we have another case. So they're currently on 3 cases. Can we get a 4th? Can we get a 4th case by the end of this? All right. Surroundings. This is the town of Ichiki in Toba City. The area is a historic place known for its armor divers. Oh, I know it well. It's also famous for the filming location of one of Japan's most well-known monster films. Whoa! There goes Tokyo! Go, go, Godzilla! I wouldn't know about that myself, ma'am. But you seem unusually well-versed in that area. Those old Tokusatsu films are the best. You should watch them for yourself, Soto. As you wish, I'll look into it. What the wait, did I seriously just get a file update for... Okay. Ichi Town is a fishing settlement located within Toba City on the eastern tip of the Shima Peninsula. The area takes its name from Ichijima, an island offshore of the region. It is said that the hollow of the center of the island was a reflection as to resemble a mirror, leading to Yamato Imo no Mikoto, giving its current name, which is written on the character of stone the coastline is a really beautiful site, as well as known for a spot as those notable as the film location of the first entry in one of Japan's most famous monster film series, and many visitors from France as a result. Toba City, location on the northern tip of the Shima Peninsula, adjacent to Isa City and Shima City. Along with the city itself, its administrative area also encompasses 4 populated islands. The combined area of modern Toba City and Shima City were formerly known as Shima Province. This coastline features one of Japan's most notable Risa coast and is renowned not only for its marine industries, but also for its popularity of the tourist destination. As a castle town. Yep, more Ama divers. Any guest house and enjoy some seafood. Any of those more birds here? It isn't an innocent man. His mentor, my husband, has nothing but praise for his skills, so he has my complete trust. I know I shouldn't rely on him too much. He's so good at noticing the fine details that I often find myself doing. God, the music! This definitely has a fantastic OST. The first game did too. This thing we still haven't earned is what the fuck is this? What does this do? It lets me stare into the sun. I can't even click on anything with that on. Oops, wrong button. Alright, what up? Alright, state of the sea. You can see the sea from here all the way to Kameshima. Do you sense anything out there, Soto? Yes, I do. The waters south of Kameshima are saturated with the powerful presence of the curse of the raging waves. I can sense it even from this distance, and that's how strong it is. Is that so? Looking out at sea, I can't see a thing. I just hope this means we'll be made in time. Even during the disaster 5 years ago, the energy was never this overwhelming. The seal has broken. There's no doubt about it. Ooh, fuck. So it's already broken, and that isn't good. And the sea still seems calm, though. Does the storm not break out immediately? Yes, something seems to be holding it back for now. Oh, so there's a silver lining at least. It seems stable for the moment. We probably have 2 or 3 days of safety. What else is also within that 2 to 3 day time period? People leaving. Yuza wants to find a mermaid. Just a lot of stuff going on. Wait, did I say Yuza? No, I just said people leaving. Then we've got a bit of breathing room. Perhaps there's still something we can do. What is this? Yeah, the Curse of the... Yes, Curse of the Raging Waves. This is another one of the things that I really loved about the first game too. Was obviously with the curse stones, they explain like what these curses were and everything like that. So, God, why can't I think? So yeah, like you learn about the curse. Like you wouldn't know like what the curse was about yet because I think you need like someone to somewhat explain to you, and then you get the explanation, and it's like, oh hey, and then you get the explanation, and then you get like a more detailed explanation about it, which is really cool. All right, Curse of Raging Waves. A curse that causes an outbreak of turbulent waves and violent storms in the seas around Kameshima. It's said that the curse was born from the resentment of the former resident of Tashimiya, an island once located on the south of Kameshima, after someone brought about its destruction. Some believe that several of the disasters that have struck Kameshima in the past were actually caused by this curse in some manner, including the Kameshima South Sea disaster that occurred 5 years ago. The person accused of bringing the curse to Kameshima was called the Raging Waves Curse Bearer and was shunned by the island's inhabitants. Oh, so our mom was a curse bearer. I mean, that kind of makes sense. But is she also a mermaid? That's the other question. Alright. God, I love this game. Alright, more. I hope we can do something about the curse of the raging waves while it's still being held back. Yes, but despite all efforts, we still haven't found a way to lift the curse. We might have quite a struggle ahead of us. That's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? And we have no idea where your ancestors' keepsake is either. I apologize on behalf of my family. Ooh, keepsake? Alright, let's talk about skeleton warriors. To begin, shall we review the depths of the case? Is that really necessary? Yes, it's necessary for the player. Summarizing may help us notice something we missed, and to have those watching catch up. Not a day goes past that I don't admire your diligence, Soto. My thanks. I'll strive to be brief. A few days ago, a fisherman off the coast here hauled up a long, rod-like object. It resembled a human bone, so he notified the police. And that was about 10 days ago. Wait, 10 days ago? Did you just say... Yeah, you just said a few days ago. 10 days is more than a few days, Soto! So he fished it up completely by chance. Following that, the police conducted an underwater investigation of the surrounding area. and they discovered multiple skeletal remains in a fissure beneath the rocks. Could that be tied to the casualties of that disaster that happened 5 years ago? As far as like I remember in the flashback we have with Yuzu, it's like maybe it's the whole fact that they're all categorized as missing rather than dead, and that's why I have the hope that like this is my mom's still alive and she's a mermaid. So it's like maybe that's what we'll learn here. Actually, let me check something else with that. With the southern disaster. Was Somayeka or Howard is that one of the people here? Founder, Captain Koichi Koimo, and all 5 crew members report missing. Okay, they do not give names except like it's weird how they're like, oh, here are the three ships that were there. The first one was this ship. Here's the captain, of an important person. But they're all 5 other people. You don't need to know their names. But then you have this small one that had the captain and one passenger who was unknown. It might be one of those things that because Koikichi Kumoi is and he always has the same 5 crew members, so everyone who knows them is there, but we don't know them. So maybe it's just it'd be unnecessary names. But then that way it's you have the one passenger unknown, maybe that's Somayeka or someone else, and then you had us here. And one other passenger reported missing. Yeah, the fact that they don't even put her name in there. I mean, granted, it's They kind of say her name later on, but it's still one of those things. And to be fair, they didn't say the name of anyone else outside the captain, so all the remains were already severely deteriorated, with each being several years to several decades old. Okay. I mean, it could still be a part of it. As a result, forensics struggled to identify the victims. There was just too little to go on. Only fragments of the skulls remain, so fractal reconstruction was apparently not possible. Hardly surprising in such a state. Still, with your ability, we hardly need facial recognition, do we? Indeed. I'll report my discovery shortly. I was about to say, luckily we have someone who has an ability that can see the face of the deceased, no matter what piece of the body they had. So that's cool. Multiple skeletal remains found resting on the seabed. Something smells fishy, and I don't mean the bones. And to be frank, I'd prefer to head home sooner rather than later, but it seems that won't be an option. I just want to go home to my husband. I kind of actually like that about. Honestly, here's the thing. I'm liking all the characters so far, but she's definitely my favorite just because she has that whole I just want to go home and be a housewife. God damn it! Why do I have to be important? Which I wonder if we'll learn why she's out doing these missions and not her husband. If her husband is, I mean, she's, as far as I know, she. Wait, let me check that. Do they have that? I think they have that in here. Where are you? Shiki. There you are. So yeah, she's a paranormal affairs employee. I don't think they mentioned any of the other names of the paranormal affairs. Yeah, there's only 5 members of the union, including the chief. So that's 5. So the chief is Kiryu Nagagoshi, but they don't have any other names of anyone else. Yeah. So, as far as we know, her husband could be a member, but it's still weird. One possibility comes to mind. Will you humor me? Please, go ahead. I wonder if those skeletal remains could be the victims of the Kameshima Southern Sea disaster from 5 years ago. That's what I was thinking. Regrettably, that is not the case. Ah, damn. Oh, darn it. Please don't sound so defeated. Forensics confirms 5 bodies in total, but they said that each had decomposed over a different length of time. I mean, Yeah, we kind of already. Why'd you give me the? Oh my gosh, the discovery music when you kind of already told us that earlier. It was like from what was it? Where was it? We're already severely deteriorated with each being several years to several decades old. So it's like you kind of already told us that they had different time frames. Oh, I mean they didn't all die at the same time. Correct. The most recent appears to date back 6 years. The others go back some 10 years before that, and another 10 and another 10 and so on. So roughly one body every 10 years. Indeed, I imagine that an older remains may have simply decayed entirely. Which means someone's been using that fissure as a place to dump corpses for decades? It's surrounded by rock, and with minimal currents in the area, it's unlikely they drifted there naturally. Had that bone not been fished up by chance, we never had known. In other words, it was an ideal site for quietly disposing of bodies. So that was no accident. So this was no accident. Someone did it. Oh boy! Serial murderer! I imagine quite some resentment must have piled up over the years. I mean, it depends on how long it's been. Let's see, 5 bodies and date back, let's see, so 6 years. So, like, let's just say in 4 years they do another one. So that's like, so they had 5 different bodies. So it's like 6 years ago. Then you had 16. So 6, 16, 26, 36, 46. This person must been like either early teens. I mean, could have been in their 20s when they first did it, but goddamn, indeed. And like they said, older ones could just entirely deteriorated. It's all gone. So who knows when the first body was actually put in there? Indeed, I've already cleansed the lingering resentment in the area. Leaving such resentment to fester could lead to a curse manifestation after all. Don't need another one of those fucking curse stones like we had to deal with in the last game. But we weren't in the last game, I know. But our subordinates were. Yes. I'm actually very curious. I'm very curious to see Mia. Is it Mia or Mayo? Mayo? I can't remember her name. I can't remember any of the characters' name from the first game. But I'll be curious if she, makes maybe not an appearance, but at least like a reference. We got a reference of the cop dude, so that's cool. Efficient as always. My thanks. There is one more point of concern that all the remains have in common. Go on. Each body bore a clean precision cut, clearly severed. Severed? You're saying they were sliced straight through the bone? What's that on your neck? Is that just a shadow, or is that actually like a mark on your neck? No, I don't think that's a shadow, because she has a shadow on her forehead. Exactly. Each was sliced down through the bone, all with a clean cut as smooth as the last. Forensics know that reproducing such uniform cuts would be extremely difficult. Even with industrial equipment, such precision would have been unachievable decades ago. One possible explanation is that a master swordsman, wielding a razor-sharp katana, cleaved each of them in a single stroke. Yes, well, that would certainly explain it. But warriors don't exactly run around with swords in this day and age. Which brings us to the possibility of a curse, I suppose. Correct. If the cuts were made by supernatural means, the rules change. And as it turns out, there were traces of a curse at each of the severed points. It was just a matter of time until we found one. Also, for the briefest moment, I glimpsed a curse echo that looked like a warrior in armor. Curse echo. A curse echo in armor? Wow, damn. Yes. Judging from the crest on the armor and given our location, it appears to be the curse tied to Hiki. Right. The Hiki. You are familiar with the Hiki, I assume? Well. The Hiki. I'm not too sure. The Hiki were a branch of the Taira clan, a warrior family who rose to power at the end of the Heian period. From the base in Issa province, they expanded their influence, reaching great heights under Taira no Kiyomori. Ooh, Kiyomori. But in their pride, they were defeated by the Genji in what is known as the Genpai War, with the Genji armor, and one guy named Gilgamesh, he kept screaming his name at the top of his lungs over and over again. Yes, of course I knew that. The tale of the Hiki preserved just how prosperous they were before they fell. Many who lived through the downfall carried deep regrets. Their resentment is especially persistent. Many traces remain even today, and they can be quite meddlesome. Indeed, you hear about it all over the place. I guess even by expert standards, it's quite the problem. Alright, let's hear more about the... Okay, then. It is a timeline. Abbreviated genealogy of the Heike. The Heike were a part of the Issa Taira clan, which was itself an Isan-based branch of the Taira clan, a prominent samurai family in the Heian period. Although the entire Issa Taira clan was generally influential, Heike refers to the particularly prosperous lineage of the Taira no Masamori, Taira no Tadamori, and Taira no Kiyomori. Known as one of the most prominent samurai families of the Heian period alongside the Minamoto clan, the Taira clan was originally based in the Kanto region. However, following Taira no Masakato's uprising against the central government in the year 935 and its suppression at the hands of Taira no Sadamori, the latter's son, Korehira, moved to Issa province, where he came to wield significant political power. This was the start of what would be known as the Issa Taira clan. 4 generations on from Korehira, Taira no Masamori consolidated the family's influence in Issei. His successor, Tadamori, was gradually granted permission to enter the imperial court in 1132, eventually attaining a rank equal to that of nobility. The distinguished military exploits of Tadamori's son, Taira no Kiramori, further led the Kiyomori's promotion to Daijo Daijin, Chancellor of the Realm, the highest possible governmental rank in 1167. In 1180, Kiyomori's daughter, Noriko, married into the imperial family, and her son ascended to the throne as emperor, enabling the Hiko to consolidate their monopoly on political authority. God dang! Thus, the Taira clan came to dominate the political landscape of the time. Such was their wealth and power that one member of the clan is said to have remarked that those who did not belong to the Taira clan were to be considered people of no position. However, the golden age of the Taira clan did not last long. Their arrogant rule and dictatorial grasp on power led to many turning against the Taira clan, and the stringing of rebellions soon came to a end. Well, no shit. With several prominent figures joined forces in a bid to overthrow them. In the midst of the resulting years of warfare, Kiyomori died of illness in March of 1181. Despite losing one of their key members, the Taira clan continued to struggle against their opponents, but to no avail. In 1185, they were finally defeated in the Battle of Dono-Yura, and many of its members, including Kiyomori's grandson, Emperor Antoku, who was still a child at the time, were lost beneath the waves of Dono-Ura, burdened with unfulfilled ambitions. It is said that a Kusanagi no Tsuragi sword, one of the 3 imperial regala of Japan, regarded since ancient times as a symbol of imperial authority, was also lost to the sea at the day. After the defeat, I actually really like this artwork, it's so cool. After the defeat, surviving members of the Taira clan, now disgraced as fallen warriors, scattered across the country and lived out their days in hiding. Even to this day, legends of Taira clan survivors persist in various regions across Japan. Once more, the katana that Kurosako carried. I believe it may have been the famed blade, Nukemaru. Yes, a blade passed down through the Heike, once wielded by Tari no Tadamori. I see. It would seem your love for swords has proved rather useful here. So what you're saying is that those skeletal remains were cut and killed by the power of Tadamori's curse? I can't say it was Tadamori himself. I'm confident it was a curse from someone within the Hike. At the very least, it offers an explanation for those mysterious perfect cuts. Yeah, curses always provide perfect explanations. But the body's being dumped every decade. Surely that can't be the curse too, can it? Correct. I imagine that part likely involves further intervention by someone else. So this wasn't an accident by some spontaneous curse. There's a perpetrator out there. Indeed. Although I can't imagine any psychic with enough power to wield such a curse would dispose of bodies so poorly. My theory is that someone is using a curse stone. They're killing through its curse and discarding the bodies. Hey, curse stones. A curse stone? They do kind of like have, similarly to the first game, like the cover art of this game has like stones on them, and they're kind of outlined different than the people. So those are like the curse stones. So I wonder if one of those is this. Think of it as a talisman that lets even those without spiritual sense use the power of a curse. They are created when intense resentment fuses with a suitable relic. That sounds dangerously convenient. There were a few incidents involving curse stones in Tokyo last year! Oh! A place in Honjo. There were a few incidents involving curse stones in Tokyo last year, actually. Didn't you hear? Oh, now that you mention it, that somewhat rings a bell. Oh shit, are we actually gonna get that? Oh no, it's just curse stones, okay. A type of curse tool that allows even people without any spiritual sense to wield curses. As long as the tool meets the above criteria, items of any shape or size may be referred to as curse stones. Many curse stones have conditions that must be fulfilled to use them, often based on spiritual power and characteristics of the curse itself. If a curse stone has low spiritual power, it may also only be possible to use it under specific circumstances, such as when under the influence of the Feast of Shadows, a spell that heightens the potency of certain types of spiritual energy. Yeah, that's also was in the first game too. God damn it. So in short, who's ever behind this possesses a stone imbued with the Haiki's curse. And they use it to kill someone roughly every decade, dumping the body into the sea. Yes, that aligns with the evidence. Thank you for the summary. And now there's this curse stone imbued with the curse of the Hiki. This whole thing is turning into quite a headache. I was so little gone, so I deduced all this. Pretty impressive. I'll have to remember to give him kudos later. He loves those treats. It's a pretty big cloud. Now then, about those skeletal remains. Were you able to use your Sagan Soto? Yes, I did. It only worked on the most recent body, though, the one from 6 years ago. By viewing parts of the remains, I was able to reconstruct a portrait sketch of how he looked when he was alive. He was a copy, or I provided one to the police as well. Impressive. That ability of yours remains quite the asset. Not always. There are times when the visions just don't come through. It's far from infallible, like when it didn't work on the other remains. Besides, there are those who could simply speak directly to the victim's spirit and ask who did it. Even so, none of those methods would hold up as admissible evidence in court. Yeah, but having a sketch of someone who's able to see the face of the deceased by looking at, like, their pinky finger, that's admissible in court. But at least in our investigations, more than enough. Excellent work. Thank you. We had the police compare the sketch against missing people from 6 years ago, but no matches were found. Darn, would have made things much easier. Detective Ide is continuing the investigation. The detective with the local police. I've heard he's good, so let's hope he proves it. Toba seabed skeletons. In a case in which multiple human skeletons were recovered from the deep fissure on the Toba seabed, the initial estimate indicated that at least 5 bodies have been disposed of there. The following information has not been made available to the public. Victims' identity is unclear. All victims are male. Each body is thought to have been disposed of at a different time. The most recent body dates to about 6 years ago. Facial sketch of the individual obtained using Soda Kiryu's shotgun ability. The remains show signs of gradual aging, with the oldest dating back more than 30 years. Although the presence of older remains has also been confirmed, they have completely decayed and it's impossible to tell how old they are. It's unlikely that the bodies could have drifted into the fissure naturally, so it's thought that someone has been discarding them there every few years. Each skeleton shows sign of a clean precision cut inflicted by a sharp blade. Traces of a curse were also detected from around the severed section. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to Hike. Why is this part of the gameplay guides? Huh. Say, Soto, that sketch of yours, maybe you should show it to some of the locals. Oh, good point. Someone might recognize him if they were around here 6 years ago. If we can identify the victim, it could help us trace the one who used the curse. I guess we can't just leave things be now that we know there's a curse involved. I'll say I'd rather not deal with it. I want to go home and be a housewife. There you go again. Sure, that's something you should be saying out loud. Obviously not. I just want to get this over with and go home, that's all. Yes, yes. We all know how much you love your home. And now there's this curse stone. Okay, no, you say the exact same thing. Ma'am, behind you! Behind me? I ain't doing that! Hi! Who's that? Is someone from town passing by? She bolted. Soto, after her. On it. Hey, stop! Let me go. I didn't do nothing wrong. I've apprehended the suspect. Good work. Sorry for the rough handling. Mind helping us out a bit? How are you doing here? Why did you run? What? Don't get smart with me. Here's the suspicious ones, sneaking around and poking into things. You think folks won't be worried with shady types like you wandering through town? I see. Sorry if we gave you a scare. We're with the police. Nothing shady here. You're with the police? Seriously? You heard about the skeletal remains found nearby, yes? That's what we're looking into. You don't look like police. Say, do you live around here? There's something I'd like you to take a quick look at. Do you recognize this face at all? You believe he may have been around here about 6 years ago? Huh? Nope. Don't know him. Bullshit! I see. Then could you point us to the direction of someone who might know about people coming and going in town? No idea. Ask whoever you want. Go now. Got nothing to do with this. Don't know a thing. Alright. Sorry for holding you up. What a peculiar woman. It was like her mind was somewhere else entirely. Well, either way, we should talk to more people in town. Agreed. Also, did you ask around and find out who that woman is? Of course. Several hours later. Ma'am, I've learned a few things. Excellent, let's hear it. Damn! The port and town center are down that way, and this area is technically the outskirts. It's a quiet town, so a stranger loitering here would definitely attract attention. And that's a good point. Hey, there you are! Mockingbird! Alright. Discovering a mermaid on the seabed aboard the Sayumaru. So I'm assuming those are ones that I have been to on the seabed, So there's just a lot in the seabed, huh? Maybe I just need to do the thing. Discovering a mermaid. That's the only one that's a different one, right? Oh no, then there's one for the Sayumaru. That's what's his name's thing, right? God damn it. That's your boat, right? I don't say. He didn't so much as flinch at the thought of tedious door-to-door investigations. Not to mention he's good at it. Having him here is a huge help. We split up to ask around town, but all the leads I found didn't actually lead anywhere. I'm just not cut out for this kind of legwork. Alright, about the woman. I also asked around about the woman we encountered earlier. Apparently she isn't originally from this town. Oh. Is that so? Indeed. Apparently she wandered to town about 5 years ago. She's been living alone in a cheap rental apartment on the outskirts of town ever since. When she first arrived, she had nothing but an old wooden box, which she was clutching as if it were very dear to her. Nothing but an old wooden box. Supposedly she used to work as an armor diver. When she first moved here, she'd occasionally go diving for fish. But these days she keeps to herself, and no one ever sees her diving. Could that be our mother? But she lost her memory? Or maybe she's like possessed. No one really knows how she supports herself, and many of the islanders find her unsettling. Perhaps she fled from something and moved her life here. That was suggested, yes. She's never spoken about her past, so no one knows for sure. Although, according to her landlord, she's never been late on rent. And she's never caused any problems either. Still, it seems odd she'd get so worked up about strangers coming to town. Doesn't seem like she's in any position to be worrying about that. You think she might be hiding something? It's possible. Her attitude changed the moment we said we were with the police. Perhaps she was keeping watch over the coast where the bodies were dumped, wanting to see if someone showed up. Right. I mean, the most recent body is from 6 years ago, and she arrived in town 5 years back. The timing's rather suspicious when you look at it like that. We'd best keep an eye on her. Agreed. Were you able to get her name? Apparently her last name is Sumikawa, but I didn't manage to get her first name. Oh, so she's the one who became the mermaid. Sumikawa. Why does that name sound so familiar? You've heard it before? I think so, but I can't quite remember where. But I'm a woman who cast off her past long ago. I guess I shouldn't let it bother me. The fuck you mean by that? Not this again. Let's leave any time-consuming background checks to Detective Ide. Very well, I'll inform him. Some Kawa. Female, unknown. A woman living in Toda. Although she occasionally does work as an almond diver, it is unclear who she is and where she came from. She apparently showed up in Toba about 5 years ago with nothing but a grubby wooden box to her name and has been living there ever since. But she's the woman that became the mermaid from the last previous flashback, so the mystery deepens, as it always does, because these games are rock. What the fuck you mean you cast her past so long ago? So this means that woman might have been marking us since we got here. It's possible. I apologize for not noticing sooner. Even a moment's lapse can expose one to a curse. I was careless, but I won't let it happen again. You can be cursed that easily? That's terrifying. What a world we live in. I showed the sketch of the victim to several townsfolk. However, it would seem that no one here recognized him at all. Unfortunate. I suppose chances are he wasn't from this area to begin with. Guess we'll have to place our hopes on Detective Ide then. You don't suppose we might be working with a bad sketch here? You need to worry about that. I'm confident in the likeliness. It should be a near perfect match. You're right. I'm sure it's close. Sorry for doubting you. And that concludes all the information I gathered from my inquiries. That helps a lot, thanks. Shall I summarize our next steps? Yes, I suppose we need to do something about all this. Let's see. I mean, I'm going to assume I talked about both, but about the Curse of the Raging Waves. I'm going on main objective, or the so-called Curse of the Raging Waves. Without knowing how to lift it, there's not much we can do right now. I don't suppose there's a chance you'll be able to break the curse using brute force. You're quite good at that. It's certainly an option if worst comes to worst, but I can't say I have high hopes for it would work. I guess it would be more realistic to try to find some clues about the whereabouts of your ancestors' keepsake instead. Wait a minute. Even though it didn't look like one, what if that mermaid scale that Yuza had, what if that's either like a curse stone or this keepsake that they're talking about? Am I related to this guy in some way, shape, or form? Indeed, it's said that item may hold the key to lifting the curse of the raging waves. That's what it's looking like. It's looking like that fish scale, that mermaid scale we got. Could be this. But even the location of the map pointing to that keepsake was unfortunately been lost to time. Although the map was said to be hidden inside a model of a mermaid mummy. One rumor says it was sold overseas during the Edo period. Doesn't sound promising. If we can't find it, I guess we're back to trying to break the curse with brute force. But to even consider that route, we need much more intel from the island. Which is why we need to head to Kameshima. At the very least, advise the locals to evacuate. Yes, hopefully someone of influence there will believe us about the curse of the raging waves. Ah, good, we do get both. Regarding the unidentified skeleton warriors, until we can identify the victim from the sketch, we have no other leads to move forward. I believe this is best left to Detective Ide's hand. Yes, agreed. I think the same goes for the Samakawa woman from earlier. We'll have Detective Ide look into her. It's nice to have someone we can rely on. I agree on that end too. In other words, we can safely leave the skeleton case to him for now. Yes, but we should remain vigilant regarding the curse stones. Is something wrong? No. It's just that one of the islanders I spoke with seems to be calling me over. Something may have happened. I'll go find out. Please do. Ma'am. What is it? The person who called me over shared a new piece of information. They were told to keep it secret, but opened up since we're with the police. Go on. Earlier this morning, down by the shore, they apparently found something that resembles the corpse of a mermaid. A mermaid? Really? The same person reported to the local authority, and was immediately on to tell no one, not even the police. You're kidding me. That local authority then contacted an unknown individual. Soon after, someone came and secretly retrieved the mermaid's corpse. That couldn't be more suspicious, could it? Exactly. They're uneasy about the whole thing, which is why they confided in me. What shall we do? Did they describe what the mermaid looked like? Yes. It said from the head to the shoulders it was human. Below that entirely fish. So it was not the classic mermaid from fairy tales, it would seem. Only the head was human, And the shoulders. You can't forget about the shoulders. He also said it was completely dried out, almost mummified. The face was unrecognizable. But they thought it resembled a local armor diver named Tomiko Suma. What? Apparently she went out diving alone this morning and hasn't returned. That's likely what worried the witness the most. That is troubling. Have we Tomiko Suma? I don't think we've had her yet, did we? Okay, good. We have not. So it's not the lady who's 28 years old that has that birthmark. I want to know more about her. Damn it, just what we needed. More things to deal with. First things first, let's deal with this mermaid story. Come on. I was about to say that's it, right? Yep, okay. Fuck. I really want to continue on. I really want to continue on with this. But I also want to do this. I also kind of want to do this. A shortcut to go underwater gathering. Neat. Thank you. Alright, let's just do this. Summary of previous events. The Ishishima investigation. A mermaid corpse has been discovered on the beach near Ikawa town. A body's been discovered. While Yumeko and her partner are investigating its whereabouts, they run into an important local figure. Ooh! We run into Santa Claus. Date unknown. Actually, that's something else. Like, I'm assuming like, oh, this happened the day before we discovered the mermaid, but since it's date unknown, I wonder if we will get like a if we will get like a date at like the top of the timeline, be like, so here's the thing. It's like, you see this right here? This was August 8th. We go on and so forth and so on and so forth. So so love it though. Love it. Mr. Yamashina, thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. I understand you're a busy man.
Not like I have much choice when it's some bigwigs from the prefectural police badgering me to do so. So you're Shiki from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. Security Division, was it? Heh, and here I thought you were just some housemaid. You sure you're from the police in that getup?
Well, I am primarily a housewife by trade, but this is hardly important right now. You're also known as Unkakudono, I believe. After hearing so many rumors, it's an honor to make your acquaintance.
Rumors, eh?
Unkakudono Yoshiatsu Yamashina. I definitely am curious about you. 70 tycoon. A wealthy tycoon who owns multiple companies and switches swaths of land, particularly in the Su and Isa areas. Born in the Tashio period, unmarried. Unmarried? Huh. His family first came into business in the Edo period, traveling from town to town selling talismans, mischantes, red hoops, and other items to ward off evil spirits. During the Meiji period, this business expanded to a trading company, and the Yamashima family became prominent contributions to the development of the region. Born to the heir of the Yamashima family business and the daughter of a noble family, Yoshitsugu grew up in an affluent environment, where he received a thorough... Wait. Oh. His mother is the daughter of a noble family. I was like, wait, what? He grew up in an affluent environment where he received a thorough education tailored to give to children. Following the end of the war, Yoshitatsu inherited the company assets in his 30s, but was quick to sell off all the shares he owned, using the proceeds to buy and sell real estate and stocks, a practice that made him entirely wealthy. After assuming his fortune, he showed a keen interest in investing in ambitious young people, actively mentoring those he took a particular liking to. This approach led to the emergence of many successful businessmen, which include Shinobu Wakamura of Kameshima. Those who have received Yamashima's support view him with both gratitude and a sense of awe bordering on reverence, referring to him as Unkaudono, a title that evokes a figure elevated above the clouds. Okay, so we're getting some ties to some other people as well. Yamashima has also shown a strong attachment to wealth, even going so far as to partake in illicit activities such as illegal donations, tax evasions, of course, insider trading, and media control, all in an effort to garner even more stats and money. What? Wealthy billionaires, millionaires don't do that. What are you talking about? In the shadow of the many success stories enabled by his support, many more of his benefactors have fallen into bankruptcy or have been arrested, fueling endless unsavory rumors about him to this day. Yamashima himself, however, seems to be unconcerned by these rumors, considering anything that does not directly harm him to be beneath his notice. Even as a lifelong bachelor, he has surrounded himself with many followers, both publicly and privately, and has never lacked for anything to satisfy his personal needs. A few years ago, he began to seriously consider the issue of a successor, driven by his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen fascination with immortality around the same time, and is said to have secretly invested mass amounts of money into research on topic. Ooh, okay. Very curious though, like, we have a few characters here. You have a single mom, so yeah, so she doesn't have a dad in the picture. You're a curious person, so I wonder if I knew. Yes, I hear you've been doing some under-the-table research into immortality.
So that what if I am?
Well, now, I wouldn't have expected you to be such a dreamer, but it does make you just a bit more relatable.
You can laugh all you want. What's it got to do with the police anyway?
It seems on this particular occasion, it has been quite a bit to do with the police, unfortunately.
You don't say. Because you're researching mermaids!
After looking at the corpse of the mermaid found earlier this morning, it seems highly likely that it was taken into custody of Mr. Yamashima here. He's quite the big shot around here, with plenty of weight to throw around both politically and financially. Of course, all the local police know of him, and of his moniker, Unkakudono. We had to get one of the higher-ups to act as an intermediate to even get a meeting with him. Personally, I'm happy as long as we get the mermaid corpse back from him. Although I certainly wouldn't complain if he can tell us anything about the curse as well. He's quite the Trimadin, so we'll have to watch our step when dealing with him. Hey, another one! And another one. Number 9. Mambo number 9. Kiting Killer. Ooh, I didn't even look at the name of that one. Maverick Manning. Your splendid guards are all fall within the grounds of Mr. Yamashima's icy city estate. Part of me wonders why he needs so much space when he doesn't have a family. I suppose he has an image to maintain. That's all it is sometimes, it's just an image. People like Yamashima have a tendency to underestimate me whenever I meet with them alone. Having someone intimidating like Soto with me gets them to take me more seriously. I'm glad he's here with me today. This is Yoshisatsu Yamashina. He's a tycoon with multiple properties and companies in his name, mostly based here in Isashima. He's long been rumored of being involved in various shady dealings. Special Investigations has had an eye on him for a while now, but they haven't managed to find any concrete evidence so far. It seems he has been a knack for pinning the blame on his subordinates before finding a way to slip away. Needless to say, he and the police are quite familiar with each other by this point. Though I don't doubt he has local police chiefs and politicians under his thumb behind the scenes. There is no need for me to get involved in all that. I'll be satisfied as long as I get the information we need from him. Fair enough. Apparently he wears that crested hakama every day. Not exactly casual wear for most people. Wearing something like that in this summer heat. That's commitment to keeping up appearances. Ma'am! You're wearing, like, something that looks like a yukata, too. I'm amused we were able to get an appointment with him this quickly. Yes, and all thanks to Detective Ide. It would seem he's quite the capable fellow. I wonder if this is what's going to introduce this. Like, this is the one. Oh. Huh. Well, that helps with that, I suppose. Right. I'll get straight to the point. I believe you took a mermaid corpse into your possession this morning.
What?
That corpse is linked to an ongoing case. We came here to ask you to release it into police custody.
No idea what you're on about.
Of course, you will get something in return. We have some information I'm sure you'll find quite profitable in exchange.
Like I said, no idea what you're on about. If that's all you came here for, then scram.
Oh, pity. I really thought you'd be interested in what we had to share. Assuming you really are interested in immortality. Well, I suppose we barely know each other. It's only natural that you be wary of our intentions. What do you say to a little chat to get to know each other better, Mr. Unka Kudono? Ooh, the music. Yeah, let's do odd things first. Let's talk about each other. I hear you've been putting quite a bit of effort into training up the younger generation recently. What's your take on today's youth?
Useless. A lot of them. Bunch of pushovers that have let all this new generation tripe go to their heads. We're the ones who built this country back up after the war, but they're out there strutting about like they own the place. Far too big for their britches.
My, what a scathing review. Would our resident member of the new generation like to comment on all that? Please don't call me that. I hear you've been searching for a successor, though. Given your strong opinion on the matter, I take it that you're struggling. Now I can see why that could lead to a desire for immortality. After all, there's no need to cede your legacy to someone else if you can remain at the reins yourself,
That might have been true when I started my research.
Oh? I take it that isn't the case now?
I'm no spring chicken. The thought of living for hundreds of years like this ain't exactly appealing anymore. Don't see much point in immortality if I'm already long past my prime.
Well, that certainly is different from the rumors. My apologies for jumping to conclusions. You have my wholehearted agreement that immortality doesn't necessarily bring happiness, though.
Let me clear up one more thing while we're at it. I've already decided on my successor.
Oh?
Turns out the perfect candidate was right on my nose the entire time. I haven't told them yet, but they're a sharp one. They'll do a fine job.
Whatever someone we already know. Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. I suppose that would mean that you no longer have any need for immortality then?
Heh. Who said I wasn't still interested? It simply has nothing to do with my successor. I still intend on continuing my research. For medical advancement, you understand. Think of it as doing my bit for society. You lot are always quick to assume the worst of whatever I do. How about you mind your own business for a change?
Well, there's not much we can say to that. We'll try to be more discerning from now on. Information on immortality. Suppose we'll just have to hope he takes the bait. Let's talk about myself for now.
By the way, you're obviously not just some run-of-the-mill cop. Who are you?
Why, I believe I mentioned it when I introduced myself. I'm just a simple housewife.
A likely tale. Plus, that fellow next to you, who's also got a strange air about him. He's no ordinary person, is he?
My, how observant of you. I suppose you could say that, yes?
Doesn't take a genius to see it. One of them phony psychic types, are you?
Phony?
Yeah, hit a nerve, did I? There are far too many of your kind around lately. Cozying up to those in power by feeding them a bunch of nonsense. Liars and cheaters, all of you.
You seem to have quite the chip on your shoulder about this, Mr. Yamashina.
Don't know if it's because of this occult craze going around, but I've seen far too many folks get taken in by that tripe.
Occult craze? Yep, occult craze. Spiritual phenomenon. Supernatural, aliens, cryptid, lost civilizations, extrasensory perception, the list goes on. Such unexplainable phenomenon are quick to take on a life of their own. A pleasure named Nessie living in Loch Ness, a plesiosaur. Signs of mythical creatures like the Tsukinoko or Hibagon, and the urban legends of Kuchikaka Onna and Hanako-san. Television reports of spoon-bending psychics, documentaries featuring spiritual photographs and UFOs that become the talk of the school the next day. These are only a few examples of the stories that have captured the public's interest. Magazines specializing in paranormal phenomena continue to thrive, with no end in the curve in sight. And it never does.
That Wakamura over on Kameshima is one of them. Talk about a waste of potential.
Ooh, I honestly thought he was going to be your successor, but I guess not. Wakamaru, Ra.
I've already chosen my successor. No need to harp on about it anymore. Already written out my will and passed it off to my lawyer. You be sure to let your friends at the police know too. Can't say I care much about who you are anymore. You're going around with some phony psychic tells me all I need to know.
How dare you? Soto, calm down. He can think what he wants. Who might this Wakamura be?
Wakamura? He's one of my proteges. He's the one currently in charge over in Kameshima. Used to have high hopes for that one, but that changed when he came under the thrall of some phony sorcerer in Tokyo.
A phony sorcerer in Tokyo?
You heard, right? Since then, there's been no end to this nonsense.
Wait, could the phony sorcerer be the boss of one of the characters? Technically, a couple of the characters from the first game. Ooh, that'd be interesting. I can't remember the name of it, but I might recognize it.
And it is nonsense. Buying properties out in the mountains, changing company names, all because of something this sorcerer whispered in his ear. He even told me the layout of my house was unlucky and tried to get me to renovate the place. Just recently he was going on about some curse causing a big storm. That sort of rubbish.
A storm caused by a curse, you say?
Heh. Even said the storm 5 years ago was caused by the same curse. He's been trying to wheedle me into helping him find some way to stop it. But I'm done with him and his ramblings. Man's clearly a lost cause. He'll be coming over here tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it's time to have someone else take the reins over on Kameshima.
I see. So even though you believe in immortality, you refuse to associate with anything to do with the occult.
And you do? I figured someone claiming to be a cop would have more sense than that. How are you meant to solve crimes if criminals can just pull out curses left and right?
You won't find me disagreeing there. So what exactly has this Wakamura been saying about this curse?
Well, if I remember, why don't you go to Kameshima and ask the man yourself?
Maybe we will. Thank you for the information. Ooh, that's just making me think of like how far back all of these scenes actually are now. So, is there anything you can tell us about the phony sorcerer this Wakamura is so devoted to?
Wakamura went on about how there's some big shot who appeared on television. I never heard of him. As I said, just ask him yourself.
Of course, we'll be sure to do so. Need to know about that, because if it's like the boss of that whatever company from the first game, that'd be so fucking cool. All right, about the portrait sketch. By the way, you're quite well connected around these parts, if I'm not mistaken. This doesn't have anything to do with what we came here to talk about. But I was wondering if you happen to recognize the person in this sketch. Seems he lived in the Ishishima area around 6 years ago.
Nope, never seen him.
I assume you've heard the news about the old human bones found on the seabed. This is a sketch of one of the victims from that case. You sure you have no idea who it could be?
First I've heard of it, actually. Got no interest in things that have nothing to do with me.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair fucking enough. There's one thing I should warn you about. Eating the flesh of that mermaid you found won't grant you immortality.
And what would you know about that?
Well, you know, one hears all sorts of things in this day and age. I don't know where it came from, but there seems to be a legend that eating mermaid flesh will grant one immortality. All I wanted to say was that it's just that, a legend. It has no basis in reality at all.
How can you be so sure?
Just think about if the legend were true. Wouldn't it be strange that no confirmed immortals have ever been found?
Yeah? Who's to say they aren't just living in hiding?
The legend of Yao Baikuni is passed down in over 100 places across Japan, yet not a single verifiable immortal has ever been found to show for it.
So you mean to say all those legends were fake? Please. If even just one of those tales is true, there's always a chance there's an immortal hiding away somewhere.
No, they're called Eternals. Well, actually, I think they're also called Immortals, too. I'm talking about the Marvel comic characters. Duh, I already read that. I see. You really are quite the dreamer, aren't you?
Figure you were trying to bluff me out of the mermaid corpse for some reason or another. But now I'm sure of it. That thing's hiding some sort of secret, isn't it? Something you don't want me to find out.
So you just reveal that you have it. You just reveal that you have it. Yeah, you just reveal that you have it. So you admit you have the mermaid corpse then? Oh, don't worry. We assumed as much from the start. If I'm not mistaken, that mermaid was in sort of a mummified state, no? I tell you'll be eating it as is. Surely there's no harm in handing it over.
So you can hog it for yourself? You won't fool me that easily.
You don't think that a rare specimen like that ought to be placed in the care of a proper research institute?
I'm saying I'll get specialist research institute to study it. Problem solved.
I suppose so.
I'll make sure that mermaid gets studied properly. Don't you worry about that.
How about this then? If you agree to give up the mermaid, we'll tell you what we know in return. For someone who doesn't seem to believe in the occult, you seem awfully fixated on this mermaid and immortality. Which suggests to me you found something you consider quite conclusive.
Bah, what do you want about now?
Well, I happen to know a bit more about mermaids than most people. Ma'am, are you sure? It's fine. I had the opportunity to do some research into them a while back, you see.
You don't say. And?
Well, mermaids do indeed have the ability to grant a human immortality.
Ha! I knew it.
More precisely, individuals granted immortality in this way are known as 800-year immortals.
So they have a lifespan of 800 years?
That's right. As the name suggests, they give 800 years of remaining life. During this time, they won't age a day, and even if they die, they'll resurrect immediately.
Sounds like a real blessing.
No, I'm afraid it's anything but. One who defies the very laws of nature like that is no longer human. They're an anomalous being that should not be allowed to exist. As such, our position requires that such individuals we found are dealt with as swiftly as possible. Indeed, the immortality was originally a curse mermaids placed upon humans.
A curse?
Ah, so this is the mermaid's curse. Immortality is neither a blessing nor salvation for the living. It's a curse that robs them of the ability to die. None of those who have become 800-year immortals have found happiness. Not one. It renders living among other humans impossible and makes them an outcast from society. Of course, there are a few years at first when life will be tolerable. But after that, every meeting ends in parting. You outlive whomever you love or are loved by. Even if you find acceptance, it will only be for a time. You will always be shunned eventually. You'll experience this over and over for 800 years. 800 years unable to die, with loneliness as your constant companion. And this is why many see no other recourse than a life of monastic seclusion, just as Yao Bikuni did.
I suppose that makes sense. Still, there's always be those who seek immortality. Always have, always will be.
You think so? I, for one, struggle to see the appeal. In any case, there are also certain conditions that must be met for this curse of immortality to be effective. Eating mermaid's flesh alone isn't enough to make you an 800-year immortal.
Oh, and what exactly are these conditions?
Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not aware of the specifics there myself. Ooh, interesting.
A person who has gained an 800-year lifespan after being cursed by a mermaid. Someone who ingests parts of the mermaid part of the body of a mermaid that meets certain conditions will be cursed and become a being known as an 800-year mortal. Once cursed, the individual's own body is lost and provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaid ingested as a medium. Their soul is then transferred to this provisional body, which they are able to control as if it were their own, with their consciousness presiding over both their soul and body from their head. As such, they could also be considered to be more spirit in nature than human. Hold on, let me read that again. Own body is lost, and a provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaid ingested as a medium. The fuck does that mean? Does that mean, like, the part of the flesh that we eat of the mermaid, like, somehow, like, merges with our body and our body looks different? Is that what they're going on about there? I don't know. Anyway, if the individual is fatally wounded or contracts an illness that results in their death, their body will instantly be restored to its default state, allowing them to revive. In the event they lose any body parts, their heart will treat the
the largest remaining part of them as their main body and regenerate any lost parts from them. Wait, what the fuck? Their heart will treat the largest remaining part of them. Oh, okay. So it's kind, I mean, losing a body part. So it's kind of like a whole, if we were cut in half kind of thing. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, how can we be cut? And then which part of that body would the main body be? With the removed parts subsequently vanishing. Oh, okay. This even occurs in the event that the lost body part is the head. However, those individuals heal from non-fatal wounds at only a slightly faster rate than their bodies would be capable of naturally. As these people feel physical sensation and pain to the same extent as they would have in their original body, it's extremely difficult to tell whether an individual is an 800-year immortal or not unless they die, even for the individuals themselves. Lifespan of the provisional body is 800 years from the time of its creation. Due to the individual's original body already being lost, not even the mermaid responsible for the original curse is able to dispel it. The individual will only see the end of their long life once 800 years have passed. That is so fucking crazy. Just like all the shit that you could see in 800 years. I feel like that's crazy. But I can't say this much at least. The mummy you have in your possession is no mermaid.
Huh? Bullshit! Ain't no way that's anything other than a mermaid.
What I mean to say is that mummy is a different being from the mermaids who wield this curse. Not all half-fish, half-human beings are mermaids, you see. In fact, calling them all by the same name is what leads to mishaps like this one.
Say what? You mean to tell me that it's not a mermaid? The real mermaids are a completely separate thing?
That's right. Which is why I can say with confidence that eating its flesh will make you immortal.
Seems like you aren't bluffing after all. So what is that thing then? There's gotta be some reason you're after it.
I imagine that even if you had it dissected and examined, all results would point it to being just a mass of fibers. In other words, nothing more than a man-made fake. There's a very good reason for that. You see, that mummy is merely the corpse of an average human, which was to be beyond recognition by the curse of the forsaken fish.
What? Another curse?
But, well, then again, it seemed like they seem to have already known about this when we did that first one, so, or technically second one, or who knows how many of them we done. Another curse wielded by mermaids, as it happens. That would be the remains of someone who died under it. It also happens to be the same curse responsible for the mermaids found every few hundred years or so across the country. You see now why we'd rather you hand the mermaid over to us. Poor soul deserves a proper burial, same as anyone else. Surely even you're not so hard-headed to deny them that.
Curses this, curses that. It's all a bunch of hook'em if you ask me. That's sad. The report I got from the Research Institute earlier said exactly the same thing.
Oh my. I take it you already had the mermaid dissected then.
They said it was likely a fake, but asked if I wanted them to keep going anyway. I told them to keep at it, but...
It should be clear now that you have nothing to gain from researching that corpse, least of all information on immortality. Won't you consider it handing it over? Of course, we could always take you in on charges of abandonment and discretion of a corpse.
Alright, have it your way.
I'm so glad you've come around. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'll give you the damn mermaid. But in exchange, I want you to tell me one thing.
What is it?
You say there are real mermaids out there. Where are these real mermaids hiding, then?
I suppose you could call it the eternal world.
The eternal world?
Yes. Mermaids are not creatures of this world, you see. Their original home is Ryugu, the domain of the sea god.
Ryugu? And how do you get there?
I'm sorry to say that Ryugu's doors are only open to the dead. Going there is impossible for a living human.
Ha! You could claim anything with a fairy tale like that. It all sounds like hookum.
That said, the entrance to Ryugu is said to lie somewhere in the Isle Sea. There have been numerous sightings of mermaids crossing over to this world in that area's long history. Which is why Issa Bay has its shares of mermaid legends too.
Now that you mention it, I have heard one of those stories too. Some old tale about mermaids being found on some long lost island called Tashimiya or the like.
What? Wait a moment. Where did you hear that story?
Ha! Caught your interest, have I? Looks like this story has some merit to it after all.
I was simply surprised, that's all. It's not a name I've come across in any historical records. Taishima, an island said to have previously been located to the south of Kameshima. Oh yeah, we learned about that. Isn't that tied to the Hikos too or something? As it's long since vanished, it is sometimes referred to as Taishima or Lost Island. No official records remain and it remains shrouded in mystery, with knowledge of its preserved only in the tales passed down between residents of Ishishima area. Legends say the island was besieged by some 400 years prior, and the curse of the murdered islanders causes the entire island to sink. Oh no! Yeah, this is supposed to be part of the curse of the raging waves that we learned in this too. It's just something I heard from one of the youngins. I have to look out there looking for mermaids. I see. Sounds like you've got a capable young hand. I don't suppose it would be possible to meet with this individual?
Nope, not happening. Unless you're willing to spill the beans on everything you know about mermaids. Every last bit of info. Maybe, just maybe, I'd consider it then. It's clear you're not already a housewife after all. Not interested? Then this meeting is over. I'll hand the corpse over to the police as promised. But don't think I've given up on mermaids or immortality. If they really exist, I'll find them and make them mine.
Ooh. Oh, is this where we're gonna go talk to what's his face?
Hey there, you two. Sorry for calling you out here when you're so busy. I figured it'd be best to give you the rundown on our findings as soon as possible.
It's no problem. Go ahead. Fuck me. Well, hello, poster. And what have we here?
All this? It's a poster advertising Kameshima. Something about it catch your eye?
No, I was just thinking. Surely it'd be better to put somewhere tourists will actually see it.
Good point. Maybe that's some posters left over. Interested in Kameshima, are you? It's a nice place. Great tourist spot, too. I recommend it.
This is one of Issa City's residential districts right now. The ground is so hot, the air around it seems to be shimmering. Despite the heat, Soda looks so unraveled as ever. I do hope he isn't just pretending to be alright. Let's hear what Detective Ide has to say. Message came in from Detective Ide just as we were about to head to Kameshima, so we stopped by to hear what he had to say. Impressively quick work on his part, to be sure. I just hope he has got some good information for us.
Huh? Worrying about my suit, are you? It's just a cheap old thing. Sorry, I don't have anything more presentable. That's just the police box I was waiting at. Something you were wondering about?
Oh no, I just happen to find myself looking at it, that's all.
Would you rather talk inside? Well, there's no air conditioner, so it's probably colder out here.
It's quite alright. Talking out here should be fine. Still don't know what the whole vision ability is. I mean, it did kind of help point out the sticker. Okay, let's do this. About Samkawa.
Oh yeah, I was looking into that lady you were asking about, Samkawa.
Oh yes, did you find anything?
Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident even though she moved here 5 years ago. And nothing came up for Samkawa in the civil registry either. So I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint.
I see. Is that quite common?
Happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on, with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently it was really common during the post-war growth period.
It seems we have quite the mystery woman on our hands.
Yep. Oh, there's something I've been wondering about.
Oh, let's hear it. You have some idea who she might be?
Well, have you heard of the Kameshima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years back. That's what I was thinking.
I have, yes.
One of the victims of that disaster was an ama diver and housewife from Kameshima by the name of Mari Minakuchi. Yes? But it seems her maiden name was Samkawa.
Oh, damn. Okay, there we go. So our mystery woman shares a surname with a maritime disaster victim. I'm impressed you managed to dig that up.
I was already looking into the Kameshima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence if anything.
Oh, so you thought they might be related too? I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Anyway, seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking.
Wait, are you saying?
Yep. I was thinking Mary Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago.
And you think she then moved to Ichika and started going by her old name of Samakawa again?
That's right. What do you think?
Seems like a long shot, but maybe? But if that's the case, why would she have stayed in Ikicha for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family?
Maybe she lost her memories in the disaster?
Right. If she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be that odd if she went back to using her old name. Surely her appearance would still be the same, though. It is different to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years.
It's possible she just never ran to anyone she knew. That kind of thing's more likely than you'd think. And the fact that they always shunned her and, avoided her. Now, speaking of appearance, I found a picture of Mari Minakuchi from the report on the disaster. I haven't met this Samakawa myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think?
Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think, Soto? If she'd agreed, if she aged 5 years and grown badly not, I can certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Miss Samakawa. My thoughts exactly.
So you agree it's a pretty solid theory?
It's certainly worth looking into, yes.
So she really is Mary Minakuchi. There's something else that concerns me.
Something else? Okay, let's talk about everything else first before we do that.
So you did manage to meet up with Mr. Kameshima?
Yes, thank you again for your help there. It seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss.
Really? That's great. Still, why would some big shot tycoon go all that trouble to withhold a body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him in on charges of discarding a corpse, you know? Desecrating. Or was there something special about that corpse?
How observant of you, Detective. I can, of course, explain it if you'd like to know more.
Wait a sec. Is it reliable to that secret apartment of yours? Think I'm better off not knowing if so.
Oh, really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold. Man, please stop trying to rope him into helping us. Okay, this makes it seem like this scene takes place after the mermaid scene. So it's like this scene should actually be after the mermaid scene. The first scene we had with them. Which it could, because we don't know how long it took them. So, I don't know.
I've never met the guy. I hear he's quite the cranky old geezer. How'd your meeting go? I bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police. He didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he?
Well, I'm not sure you could say it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him, at least. Probably.
You, don't sound very sure about that. Yep. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. So I got all hands on deck to go around asking about that sketch you gave me. And we finally found someone who recognized the victim.
Oh, that's great news.
The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Apparently the sketch looks like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city.
So 7 years ago, he was 19, no?
From the sound of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of. Left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. She doesn't know what happened to him after that.
I see. That would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Did we get a name for your mystery man?
Sure did. His name was Kipe Ikoma.
Kipe Ikoma.
I looked him up in the residence registry, and it does look like he moved from Kumano to the Isle City 7 years ago. It seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I checked in with the apartment's landlord, and it would seem that about 6 years ago, the landlord had his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid.
If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains.
I'll keep looking into Ikoma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always a possibility we've got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case.
Please do. Testimonies indicate that the individual in this sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipe Ikoma who went missing 6 years ago. He has no known relatives. The other remains show signs of gradual aging with the old... Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, so that's the only thing that got updated was that.
The woman we spoke to said the sketch was really accurate. No doubt in her mind it was Ikoma.
Well, that accurate. And I'm sure we've got the right person.
Still, how'd you even make that sketch? There's nothing left of the victim but bones.
Well, let's just say it's classified for now.
Right. Guess that means I shouldn't pry any further. Okay. That makes it seem like this scene takes place beforehand. Oh well. This is just what I've heard. But it seems like the islanders over at Kameshima think this Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago.
What? Why would they think that?
No idea. It seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of a taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back home because of that.
Surely not.
Seems as good a reason as any why she wouldn't want to come forward anyway.
If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeletal remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first.
Can I leave talking to Miss Somakawa to you two then?
We'll handle that, yes. So people believe this Minakuchi called forth the curse of the raging waves 5 years ago, do they? I don't expect the curse of the raging waves to come up here, of all places. Wait. That's it. I remember now. The sole survivor, Tanishima. His surname was Samakawa. There was something else about Samakawa. A wooden box? Surely that'd be too much of a coincidence.
Well, that's about all I had to report.
Thank you, Detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, can we ask you to keep looking into Kipe Ikumo for us?
Roger that.
We'll see if we can find Samakawa again and hear what she has to say. Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kameshima will have to wait until tomorrow. So it does.
Oh, you had business on Kameshima too?
That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes. But now we've gotten caught up in all this other troublesome business, so it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible, so I could get back home to my husband.
I see. You are devoted to your husband.
Oh, very much. Though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening, anything could be of help.
Sure will do. You're kind of making me worried something might actually happen now.
I'm certainly prefer if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting on you, Detective. God, okay, these ones are definitely like my... Oh my god, we're still... Okay. Bad news, ma'am. Seems we're a step too late. What do you mean? Seems someone came and took that Somakawa woman out to sea just a few minutes ago. What? According to the witness, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Samakawa in tow. They then boarded a motorboat that was moored there and headed onto the bay. Didn't appear to be by force, but we could probably assume they knew each other. Foreign man? Not sure what's going on. We could probably get a boat and follow her just in case. Yes, let's see if... Ugh! Soda, what's wrong? The spiritual force is overwhelming. Ugh! My body won't move. What's going on? Ugh! Oh shit. That girl over there. Is she doing this? You can withstand this curse. You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'll have to ask you to leave. Siri, shut the fuck up. I didn't say anything to you. Oh my god. Vile Pneuma, Guardian Spirit, grant me the wisdom of the numinous. Oh, high guiding Spirit, light my path ahead. It seems like they've saved us the effort of searching for them. So it seems. Let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know. What the fuck is going on? Who are you?
I can ask the same with you. What do you want with Miss Samakawa?
So you know who Miss Samakawa is, do you?
Maybe. What's it to you?
Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent. She lacks experience. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my curse of binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here. Alright, I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her, so this is as good as an opportunity as any. Let's see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she wavers, I'll signal you to use the curse of binding. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. On your signal. Oh my god. Gameplay! Use Soda Kiryu's Curse of Binding to restrain your opponent when they let their guard down. Press the Use Curse button to signal to him to use it. You only have 3 chances to use the curse, okay? Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Samakawa is a friend of yours then?
So what if he is? Why are you trying to follow them?
What do you want with Miss Samakawa?
I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourself, don't you?
What? You know about the relic?
You certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might even be too much for us.
What's with the sudden praise? You're creeping me out. If you know about the relic, I'm afraid we can't let you get away.
Get away. I'm the one holding you here.
Now, there's no need to be so uptight. How about we just stop all this and just talk a bit?
Not happening. You're just going to use a curse the moment I drop my focus.
You certainly have remarkable because she's too worried of us, okay? You know about the relic, okay. So that's all we've done. I'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some other way to resolve this.
Sorry, but that won't work on me. I'm at a rebellious age, you see.
If you resist anymore, we'll have you taken in for obstruction of public duties.
Wait, you're with the police?
Despite appearances, yes. To fine us could net you quite a heavy punishment. Damn!
I see.
You must be from Paranormal Affairs! Signing up to us despite knowing where we're from. Don't think you'll get off lightly for this.
Threatening me won't get you anywhere.
You can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right? You're also with Paranormal Affairs then?
Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I suppose this is a trouble with secret departments. Even their own members recognize each other. What a bother. So we're both from Paranormal Affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some way we can help.
I told you, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not your business anyway.
Even knowing we're from Paranormal Affairs, you keep a straight face to hide your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart.
Thanks, I guess.
You give up now? So you're with Paranormal Affairs. You need to relic yourself, so you're willing to cooperate with us. Am I correct?
If that's what you think, you give up already?
Yeah, sure. Alright, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. Soto, you can stop now. Ma'am? Really? Thanks. I'm not gonna use it. Oh, what? I guess they needed me to. There we go.
Grown-ups
looks and your dirty tricks. You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. Now, will you tell us what you're up to here? Well, I suppose I've slowed you down enough. You'll never catch up to the boat now. Craig's Aster, guide my path, and with thy merciful hand uphold me.
What? She broke the binding?
Bye-bye.
Ah! Confound it! Stop right there!
Looks like she's giving us the slip. I doubt we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with Paranormal Affairs about that girl. I put in a call to Paranormal Affairs about our honest young ladies just now.
I see. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them?
Yes, it seems her name is Cherise Lunar Light. She's an exorcist from England who's come here on exchange. Part of her spiritual training, as I understand.
Ooh, is she like is she gonna be like someone like the Mio or whatever her name is?
The Lunar Light family. I see. Oh? Are they well known?
I've heard of them, yes. They're a distinguished family of exorcists, but an old one too. It would certainly explain the strength of her spirit sense.
Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of Paranormal Affairs while she's in Japan. Honestly, I do wish she'd tell us these things in advance.
Exchange, as in someone else from Paranormal Affairs is over in England now? Is that our girl? Is that where our girl's at?
What is she doing here in Mania Prefecture? Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. They've been looking for her. The sound thing, she's been skipping her train assignments to travel around Japan, visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead.
It doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all.
Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we see her next.
I see. More work for us then.
Yes. The things we find ourselves caught up in. She seems to know about Samakawa too. I've got a bad feeling about all this.
Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area.
No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we'll run into each other again eventually. I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head to Kameshima first thing tomorrow.
Understood. Ooh. And nothing more. Damn! Oh! Fuck, that was good. That was so good. Oh, that was really good. I like that. Those two segments were really good. So, alrighty. Ooh, as of right now, they definitely have the interesting story now because obviously we know more about the curse and everything, especially if you play the first game. And even if you haven't played the first game, I feel like they are still the more interesting party right now. I mean, Sato, we barely anything with her. Yuza, we have a little bit of information. I mean, the whole, seeing his own dead body thing, that's like, what's up with that? So, very curious indeed. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this part of Let's Play Paranormasight The Mermaid's Curse. In the next part, guys, we finally go back to Yuza. I might actually do a little fishing. Maybe I'll do some of that off screen, just to, see what it's like, or more so. And we'll continue on and go to all the people he needs to talk to. Ooh, I can't wait. This game's got me by the balls. It's always had me by the balls, but even more so now because of all this shit happening. So yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. Guys, if you liked the video, please give that like button a click and comment down below. Check about the video, didn't like about the video, and let me know, guys, what do you think of all that interactions we have. We learned more about mermaids. We learned about how what their real curse is. We have some kind of a curse off. I'm very curious to see what happens if you fail. You probably just have battle failed, retry, kind of similar to when you die during the diving section. Oh, that's so good though. That's really good. I like that a lot. That whole fight was really good. So yeah, let me know about that. I have a feeling either that girl or the person that she was with is going to be someone else that we see, that we have from their perspective. Probably not her, so we'll see. But yeah, yeah. And as always, guys, hit the subscribe button so don't miss a beat, and subscribe to my main channel too. That's in the description below. As well as follow me on Twitter. Both my main Twitter, the RG Kim Kid Twitter, are in there too. Thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all next time.